The one question I guess you had when it came to importance of rosters was whether or not Kristaps Porzingis was going to be ready to go, and he is.
Yep, so, that's what it looks like. Green light.
Yeah. So
I'm with Shime now. I think Shime, what you have him in 5?
That's correct.
Yeah, I think with the if I get through the first quarter and Porzingis looks like he's healthy and he's Porzingis, I think that this series goes 5 games too with Porzingis. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, Kristaps makes a major difference to this team. Because they're already going to struggle to cover Tatum and Brown.
Yeah, but you're also going to struggle when it comes to – you're not going to stop Kyrie and Luka. So Joe Mazzulla said last week you can slow them down. Or you can – but you're not. So I love your optimism, but to me it's at least 6.
But you could throw multiple guys at Kyrie and Luka where they can't throw multiple guys at Tatum and Brown or even Porzingis to that matter. So when you start to look at how it plays out that way, I think that Porzingis, he does so much on the court where now Tatum doesn't see as many double teams being ran at him and now is able to really take advantage of a lot of the one-on-one situations, especially coming off the pick and roll, because they're not going to want to switch everything or, because of the ability for Porzingis to be able to knock down those deep three-pointers. So I think you get him. I might be with Chime on this one. 5 games.
I think at least 6.
All right. I think the Mavs win in 7 now. I don't think it's a quick series for many reasons, but it's not decided before Game 6. I think the Celtics win, but this is going to be an offensive. It's going to be a huge ratings win for the NBA. You have the stars. You have half the country. There was a thing I sent to the group chat yesterday with the 28 states or 29 states are supporting the Mavs. 21, that would be the math, right?
Yes.
50 for the Celtics. So pretty evenly split.
So that I am doling out critiques evenly. You did send that to the group chat yesterday, and that had been sent moments before by none other than Coach Wiggins.
Yep.
I don't know if you noticed that or not.
But I don't. I know there's a lot of stuff that gets sent.
Sometimes we are on you for that type of action, and I feel like it is only fair to call Curtis out as well.
I know there's a lot of stuff that gets sent, so sometimes you get a lot of messages, and maybe you don't notice something or see it.
I sent it twice actually.
That was you sending it twice? I thought that was Wiggy you sent it.
I sent it. I think I sent something earlier.
You sent something. The only person that sent that was me, and I sent it twice by accident.
Oh, all right. I stand corrected.
Wow, that was a pretty big drum roll for that.
Well, we'll take it. We'll still take it.
Now I'm going to have to go back and try to look and see.
No, every time I'm going to send something now, I scroll pretty far back to make sure that it hasn't been sent
No, there was something that I sent a while ago that then Curtis sent out. But it is what it is. I mean, we send so much stuff, I don't really get caught up in that nonsense.
Yep.
Well, I mean, the only issue for the Celtics to me is that you are facing the man that LeBron James has declared to be the most gifted player ever to play in the NBA.
I think he's the most gifted player the NBA has ever seen. He has the best gifts I've ever seen of any NBA player.
That is just ridiculous, that statement. It's still bothering me.
I don't know why. He is gifted, though. I mean, if you watch him play, some of the stuff that he does, and I don't think LeBron's not saying he's the best player. He's not better than Jordan or, he's better than a lot of guys.
Okay, well then so what does that mean? If you're LeBron James and you're talking about Kyrie Irving being the most gifted player to ever play in the NBA, what does that mean? It doesn't mean he's the best.
Curtis brought up a great point. Michael Vick, where you go, wow.
Right.
This guy can do everything, you're just like, oh my God, did you see the play he just made?
You don't think Michael Jordan could do everything?
No, I know, but
you think Kyrie Irving is a more gifted passer than Larry Bird was?
But the difference is Michael Jordan, I think, obviously was born with innate skills and 6'6" and all that. But he really worked. He did. I mean, famously, he wasn't even on the varsity team at UNC under Dean Smith early on. He had a long track to get to where he was, where he eventually became the greatest of all time. Whereas Michael Vick, gifts mean something you were born with. something that you didn't have to harness and work on the same level everybody else did. That's why Michael Vick flicks the wrist, throws 70 yards, runs a 4.3 40. The guys like that, I think, are gifted, whereas like the Larry Birds or, even a guy like Paul Pierce didn't have the same gifts.
It's why it makes Tom Brady so special, because he was not gifted an athlete at all in any circumstance, and yet he became the greatest quarterback to have ever played the sport.
It's how they described Aaron Hernandez, the most gifted player, but what a waste that he was that gifted. And
the perfect example for Greg to understand would be Connor McDavid. Is he better than Wayne Gretzky? Probably not, and will never be. But when you look at his gifts and his ability, is he the most gifted player that you go and you look on, see on the ice and you go, wow, I can't believe what I just saw. I think that's
no, I don't, because I saw Gretzky play. So that's the very example.
There was a difference. We love Wayne, but there was a gift difference.
Okay, remove your Kyrie love affair bias for a minute.
Yeah.
You don't think Magic Johnson was gifted? I mean, my Lord, I like, it's bizarre to me that LeBron James sits there and says that Kyrie Irving is the most gifted player ever to play in the NBA. Like, stop.
But I think you're mixing gifted with being the better player. Like, is Magic a better player than Kyrie Irving? Yeah. But when you're looking at gifted and what wow, I couldn't believe what I just saw. That, I think, is what he's saying about Kyrie. For him to be 6 feet or 6'1" and to do the things that he's able to do, you're like, oh my God. And Curtis brought up a good one, Michael Vick. I talk about Connor McDavid, that these guys are just.
Randy Moss was your point.
Yeah, Randy Moss, unbelievable gifts that you go, I can't believe what I'm seeing here from this guy.
And the real reason LeBron said this is that he had to talk about somebody in the finals in a way that would get people talking about him.
Well, he said it because he was so, he's the proud big brother of Kyrie. But like Julius Peppers I played with, I was like, Jesus. I mean, this guy, as big as he is, to do some of the things that I think when you say gifted, that's what people mean. They don't mean that he's the best player ever. Like, I don't agree with Stan Van Gundy when this is the greatest backcourt in NBA history.
And bad news, Greg. Clapback in the Twitch chat says gifted is immeasurable. And this is a really silly argument. So let's get back to soccer. I'm fascinated by those because it's the best part of this time of year where all the gifts become meaningless if you're unable to perform when the world's watching and you need a big shot to win a game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you finished your sentence because I was interested. You're fascinated by those who what?
I'm fascinated by those that are in these positions, and you have someone who has this immense talent, this unbelievable set of gifts that they were born with, and they're able to look you in the eye. And then you have a guy who is, a guy like, I don't know, Al Horford, or a guy that is trying to overcome his age, trying to make that big shot. I mean, you go look at the Jordan. Think about John Paxton, big shot. Like the guys that come out of nowhere. Steve Kerr in this series, and I was wrong about it. It was P.J. Brown. Was that the guy that was on the Celtics that had a couple big shots in 08? Yep. Like, there's going to be a guy, whether it's Pritchard, whether it's Porzingis, whoever, there is going to be a player too, because these teams, I think, are relatively even. And it's so fascinating. Like, remember with Gasol with the Lakers, and just totally disappeared. There's going to be talented players that disappear. There's going to be players that you don't anticipate coming up big in big spots. And these games are forever. You're going to be talking about this for the rest of your sports watching life. You're going to be seeing whether Tatum ascends. You're going to see whether Luka is able to get in the heads of the Celtics fans, and Celtics fans getting the head of Kyrie. This is why you watch sports.
And it really is it is arguably the one sport in which a guy can take over and win you a championship.
Yep, and we've seen it happen before.
And is Jason Tatum that guy, or is Luka that guy?
And so many times the local teams, whether it was Rodney Harrison with those Patriots or other teams, say like nobody believed in us. If Tatum hits a game-winning shot, if Tatum is great in this series, he will be able to say everybody was doubting him, because that is not some made-up storyline. Nationally, it has been a major one, and if he's able to do it, it'll be spectacular to see.